Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the session. Kindly confirm, am I audible? Thank you. Okay, so Dinesh, would you like to speak? If you want to speak, you can raise your hand so that I can talk to you. Yeah, sure. So let's wait for one more minute and then we'll start. It's a small grace time for others to join, others to participate in the session. Okay, so let's jump to the session. So let's quickly see this information. Again, I'd like to update about this WhatsApp information to you. So I'm posting this particular WhatsApp link so that you can join to our WhatsApp group and keep posted with all our informations regarding the courses. And as I said, you can also join our social media channels. These are all our social media channels where you'll get all the information regarding the subject and recordings as well as placement related information. Okay, now we'll quickly jump on to today's concept. So in yesterday's session, we have seen about how to install VMware Workstation, Workstation. And then on top of VMware, how to create Windows Server virtual machine. So this is what we are supposed to do. And yes, our yesterday's practical failed because my image, with which I was trying, was not downloaded properly to my machine. So that was the only thing which has stopped us to install the Windows Server. Okay, so right now we are into this Windows Server. Let us start installing this workstation and workstation is installed. Let us start installing Windows Server in this workstation. So we have something like VMware. So we got VMware Workstation. So I'm selecting VMware Workstation. This is my VMware Workstation. In yesterday's session, this did not work. So I'd like to delete this, remove this option. And this all information will be stored into your documents. Okay, in documents, you can see as soon as you install VMware software, the virtual machines directory or folder will be created. Open this, and this was the name we have used in yesterday's session. So I would like to delete this. If you are deleting this, your machine is also gone. Okay, right. So now let's get back to this page. And now let us create a new virtual machine. So go to File, New Virtual Machine. Go to File and New Virtual Machine. Now click on, you can choose any of the ones. As of now, we are installing for the first time. So typical version would be enough for us. But later on, when we require customized things, then we'll go for advanced level. So as of now, typical will be enough. Click next. Okay, so here there are three options. The one is installer disk. Second one is installer disk image file ISO. That is if you have a physical CD or DVD drive and you want to install via CD or DVD, then we are going to use this. or else simply select that I will install the operating system later. Okay, then click next. Now you can see what is the version of Windows you want to install. I want to install Microsoft Windows, in which I'd like to install Windows Server 2016. Click next. Provide a name for this because we have already created a folder with this name. And as VMware is open, that folder is not yet deleted. So I'd like to add something like this is my Windows Server 2016 one. And this is the location of that particular directory. Okay, click next. Now it is asking the size. Okay, so recommended size for Windows Server 2060 is by default 60 GB. So this 60 GB will be used from my laptop. That would be a virtual thing. So you can split virtual disk into multiple files or it into a single file. It would be better in either of the options. So if you are selecting single file, all the things will be added to that file on day-by-day basis. If you are splitting it as a multiple file, so one after the other, every day's file will be stored. Okay, so always remember, if it is a single file, this would be more beneficial. Okay, right, click next. Again, finally, if you want to customize hardware, you can customize the hardware. That is what all the memory you want. So this is 2 GB RAM, which I'm providing here. If you want to increase the number of processors, you can increase. And if you want to add some image, you can add. If you want to change settings to network, yes, you can do. Rest of all things are same. There is no change in the rest of all things. So as of now, 2 GB memory is required. So I am using 2 GB. Now you might ask me, how can you say that 2 GB is required? You can see here, recommended memory is 2 GB. Okay, processors based on your procedure, your work requirement. So if your work really requires more number of processors, then obviously you can add more number of processors. CD DVD, this is auto detect where we are going to add the image file. We are assuming that this CD DVD device is a virtual DVD drive on which we are placing a virtual disk. But we are not doing that. That is all our assumption. We are actually adding an image to that. Simply we are adding an image. So browse. And this is the image we have downloaded it yesterday, but it was failed. Now what I did, I have re-downloaded it and then starting it. So now it is connected. Okay, you can see the status connected, power on. It should be turned on. Okay, next comes network adapter. All these are same. All these are same, connected, power on, connected, power on. Okay, in network adapter, it is showing NAT. But if you want to connect, or if you want your computer, your laptop to split its network connectivity into multiple network connections, that is a physical connection to multiple virtual connections, then we are supposed to use something called as bridge network. Okay, so in this session, I am not selecting anything for this network and selecting only for CD DVD. Close. Now your customization is finished. Now click on finish. Okay, now you got your machine ready. So we have seen the same thing yesterday as well. Okay, we have seen the same thing yesterday as well. And we have changed all these things in the last session. Okay, right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to power on to the firmware. Basically, it is the very first time, so you don't require to power on to the firmware. Directly, you can click on power on. If you're going to firmware, then you're going to select the source of installation. Right? If you want to install Windows, you require a source. That is how you're installing, whether you're installing it with a DVD or a USB drive or via network. So if you're installing via network, then you have to go to firmware and select network. And the same thing, if you are installing via DVD, select DVD. Via USB drive, select USB drive. Okay, now let's simply power on this virtual machine. So as soon as we power on the virtual machine, it is asking to press any key for boot from CD. Press any key to boot from CD. Okay, so you can see at the top of this VMware, there are some small symbols, small indications. But see, I cannot see my mouse cursor because the mouse cursor is inside the virtual machine workstation, VM workstation. So I have to use Alt Control. press Alt Control at the same time so that your cursor will be released. Now that your cursor is released, you can see at the top of this VMware, you can see options. So these are the arrangements or alignments of your VMware software. I am selecting this and I can see now this is my full screen. Okay, if I minimize here, now this is my computer, and if I increase it here, this is the VMware machine. Okay, now select language, English, United, US, everything is seen. Click next and select install now. And select install now. It is going to take little time because Windows is graphical user interface and graphical representations will take much time to install. Okay, so it will take a little time. So meanwhile, what we'll do is we'll just simply have a discussion about the certifications part. So this will go on. Okay, this will go on for a while. Here it is standard and KMS. You can choose any of the one. Click next. Accept the license terms. Again, click next. You can select custom, install Windows only. Select this option. And you can see 60 GB is a new allocated space for this particular Windows server. Click new, click apply. Okay. Now you can see entire disk is partitioned with into four different partitions. So one is for recovery partition, the second one is system partition, the third one is MSR, that is reserved permission. Okay, Microsoft reserved partition. And next comes partition 4. This is available for us to install operating system. So we are going to install operating system here. Okay, so this procedure will take a little time. Meanwhile, we'll quickly have a grab on the certifications of Windows Server. So in last session, we have seen it. Now again, we'll try to see it. So what we're going to search here, right? So let us search something about Windows Server 2016 certification. Okay, so this Windows Server will be certified from Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft certification. So let's write Windows Server 2016 certification code. So now you can see in Windows Server 2016, totally there are 3 different exams or 3 different papers. Starts with 70-740, 70-740. So this will deal with installation and storage and compute with Windows Server 2016. That is using of servers, using of processors, using of storage and setting up all those things belongs to first module. That is exam code 70-740. Later on, we'll be working with networking. Networking, it means you might get connected with multiple servers. So for that purpose, you're going to use a code called as 70-741. And the last one is identity with Windows Server. Last one is identity with Windows Server. That is who has permissions and who are the users, who are the guests, who will be just operators, who will be the administrators. Everything will be mentioned in this particular third module. Okay, so exam codes are something like 70-740, 70-741, and 70-742. Let me write it. Exam codes here. That is 70-740, 70-741, 70-742. Okay, 70-741, 70-742. Okay, all right. So after understanding these exam codes, we have to see about the writing of exam code, how to write this exam. So to write this exam, simply go to your Microsoft website, and directly you can register from there. Got the point? Okay, now let's jump back to our practical. So we'll see to what extent our practical is completed. Okay, our practical is already about to complete 15%. So let's see this. As I told you, this installation will take time. Okay. So meanwhile, let us understand much about this particular VMware software. So what was the thing happened to us yesterday? So why it did not work? First and foremost thing is about the image, about the Windows Server image. We could not download it properly. That is the only reason we lost that particular connection. Now, after saving it, it goes to My Documents, Virtual Machines. And in this virtual machines, you're going to experience all our virtual machines. And inside this virtual machine, you can see there will be only single file for Windows Server. So all the information will be saved only in that single file. Okay, if you want to migrate or if you want to send the same Windows Server to another devices or another computers, then you can simply copy that particular files and post it to other files. Okay, now you can see installation is getting faster. Meanwhile, you can see at the bottom, you can see about the VMware installation tools. So these are the tools which will help the features of improvement like mouse movement, video, as well as performance. Okay, as well as if any guest wants to use our machine, even this will help them. Click on install tools. Okay, so it is getting installed now. Oh, okay, we are unable to see the hard drive here. No device found. Yes, I would like to quit. Like to close this. Let me check my machine first. So what happened here after closing the machine? So we are turning off this machine again. So this is not working now. So what we'll do is we'll have to take another machine. So go to file, new virtual machine, then provide next. Now this is our Win Server 16. Let me change this particular thing. Rest of all are same. Use ISO image, browse, select your image. Okay, so network adapter, it will be in NAT, but just I'm just changing it to bridge. So it will take time now. Let us see power on the machine. So I finished installing. So press any key. So I'm pressing any key. So we'll see for how long the installation will take place. So it started, it's been very slow. So let me check, is there any place on my machine or not? Yes, I can 343 GB, 33.5 GB, 143 GB is free, but still it is not. Sorry team, I have selected STD. STD is in the sense standard. Now we have to select KMS. Select KMS, click next. Same thing I'm doing it again. Now we have created a partition here. On this particular partition, let's click on next and let's wait for some more time. So by the time this is completed, let us have a look on our syllabus once. So the way what I have done is easy for you to join WhatsApp group or attend demo session. Then you can also join the course. There are plenty of things. Demo registration, WhatsApp group, buy now, and course content. So right now I have selected the course content point in which the very first session, that is deploying and managing server 2016. So we have seen that nothing is easy in graphical. So it will take little time. So here we have to wait on the screen. If you are changing the screen, automatically it is getting abstracted and it is getting deleted. So once after getting this particular installation done, then obviously we can change the screen. Okay, meanwhile, if you have any questions, please go ahead and you can ask me the questions. Yes, I've provided the access to you, Bright. You can unmute and you can speak to me.
Yeah, we're having when is going to be the last demo section because we're having issue with just installing the Windows server. Is today
No
going to be
worries. Today it's getting installed and on Monday again we'll have another session. You'll
Yeah,
have,
because
yeah,
if we start to face a lot of error, maybe it could be something that has to do with the software, the equipment, and we don't want to. We want to fix this in the beginning so that when we go ahead, it wouldn't be a problem for us, please.
yeah,
So,
sure, sure, sure. Definitely,
so
definitely.
today going to be the last demo section?
No, no, no. The demo is also on Monday. We have another
All right,
I'm on the demo session. That is what I have shown you in the beginning.
all right.
So the
Please,
demo
please.
sessions, there will be totally first four. Okay. So it's getting speed up. Okay. These are the challenges we are facing, because if you understand these challenges, then it would be easier for you in the upcoming practical times. So everyone might not be available with Windows Server in their premises, and we don't have multiple machines at the same time. So once the machine gets installed, then I'll save this machine so that we'll open the machine whenever we want directly. It will hardly take around 20 to 30 seconds to load the machine. Only for the first time it will take time, and I don't know in the near future you'll get a chance to install this server on a machine or not. But yes, if there is an opportunity, definitely you can try it on this particular virtual platform. So it's getting installed. If I'm moving from this page, there is some damage happened twice now. So I don't want to move out of this page. So let me stay on this page so that it will be easy for everyone to understand. So once if it is done, then obviously we can see how a server looks, and we can navigate inside the server. We can see multiple options inside the server. We can see who is handling, what is the toolbar, what is the menu bar, what is the status bar, what is the task bar. We can also see about where what is the server configuration. Okay, meanwhile, let me tell you about this particular latest version of Windows, that is Windows Server 2022. So if someone is familiar with cloud platforms, they might have already seen the Windows Server 2022 environment. At least they might have installed it, or if someone has installed it, they might have been watching that particular server. Okay, so here also we'll do it, because in Windows Server 2016, there are many features. And on top of that, we'll be understanding about what is new in Windows Server 2019, as well as in Server 2022. So meanwhile, I'd also tell something about licenses. So how much license, or what would be the license to use this Windows Server? So what would be the license? And what are the different types of licenses we have in Windows Server? Because Windows operating system is not free of cost. So they are going to charge for using this particular operating system. This is again a system software. So Windows or Microsoft is going to charge them for this particular operating system. So this operating system comes with internally with two different types of editions. Two different editions. One is data center edition and the other one is standard edition. One is data center edition, the other one is standard edition. Okay. So standard edition is ideal for customers with very non-virtualized requirements, very small or non-virtualized requirements. And data center edition is ideal for highly virtualized and software-defined data center environments. Okay, so we got only two editions. It is very easy to remember. One is standard and the other one is data center edition. Okay, right. Next comes the licensing part. So licensing part. So we have different licensing models, that is for core license and server license. Core license and server license. And we have licensing models like per core, that is the processor core, or per cal. Cal in the sense CAL, client access licensing. Or we have something like OEM, original equipment manufacturer, OEM license. Okay. So we got multiple licenses, something like these are the license models. License models will be for per core or per cal or per OEM. Okay. OEM is the entire software, that is one-time purchase, and per core and per cal will be based on our usage. Based on our usage. Whenever you are increasing the usage, obviously it is going to be increased. Okay, so I guess this is about to complete. Now, yes, we have seen something about Windows certifications, then Windows licensing. Now let us understand how this Windows Server is going to help in administering an work environment. Okay, so just assume there are 10 employees in a company. 10 employees in a company. So what all the roles and responsibilities to be assigned to that users? If all the 10 users are working on their own laptops, then how we're going to track their work? How we're going to track their work? Or if you want to share something, let's say a printer. If you want to share a printer for all the 10 people, one printer to all the 10 people, how is it possible? So if there is only one single printer and if everyone wants to give a print, then it will be difficult. Okay, all right. But at the same time, if there is only one printer and everyone wants to give the print at different intervals, then that would be useful. Okay. Similarly, if everyone wants to use only one single printer, then it will be very difficult. If everyone wants to use only one single file, that would be very difficult. Okay. So to avoid this or to provide a solution for this sort of problem, they have introduced a concept called as server, which provides multiple services to multiple clients at the same time. Okay. So now that I have seen a restart of this server, it means our installation went successfully. So in just a couple of minutes, we're going to see the Windows Server image gets completed and the operating system is ready to use. Yes, we have to get experience with this particular options at the top. So it's still loading. So we'll wait for some more time. Yes, so this screen is ready now. Okay, and once this is done, once the ports get started, that is the fifth session starts. So everyone should install this Windows Server on their machines, and we have to take a snapshot of that machine because we are going to install, we are going to create, or we are going to learn new service on every day. So it would be better for us to keep our Windows servers ready. Windows servers ready, because every day if it is taking in time for this installation, then most of our time will be left, or most of the time will be wasted only for this installation part. Okay, so we got some settings here. We got VM settings here. As I told you, after the machine is ready, you can take the snapshot. You can take a snapshot. And the next time if you want to open, you can directly open from this snapshot. Okay, so if you're taking a snapshot now, and if you want to open directly from here, you can directly open via snapshot. So it is nothing but a capturing of the running operations. Next, we got file. Okay, virtual network editor, preferences. If you want to see any preferences about this particular running software, then you can go for this preferences. Okay, good question. What is a snapshot? Okay, it is something like clicking an image. From there again, it starts. Okay, it is something like pause button or playback button whenever you want to start a machine. Okay, now it is open, and now you can see on Windows Server, the default username will always be administrator. For the first time, if you're logging in, the default user is administrator. You cannot change the username. So let's provide the password. Okay, and password must be following, password must be followed as a complex password. Always recommended that provide a complex password where there will be alphabets, alphanumeric characters, alphanumeric as well as special characters. So I am providing a password here. So I am providing a password called as server8321. So I'm providing a basic password like this. So provided the password, click finish. Yes, this is your server desktop. Okay. Okay. The mouse wasn't working. Okay. We have to press Alt and Control at the same time. Alt Control. Alt L, E, and Control. These are the two keys. If you're using those two keys at the same time, then automatically your mouse will be appeared. You can see I cannot release the input. If you want to release the input, then what I have to do? I have to press Alt Control, Control plus Alt. You can see it is mentioned on the screen here. At the same time, if you want to see multiple screens, then you can see all the virtual machines, list of virtual machines will be on the home screen, and you can switch from one machine to another machine and you can handle it. But for doing this process, we require more and more processor and more RAM on your base machine. The machine, the physical machine, what you have is called as base machine. And on top of the base machine, we are using this virtual machines. Now you can see the server desktop is visible to us. So we have provided a password. So we have provided a password. We are providing a password that is server@321. Password provided. Now we have logged in. Okay, somewhere in between, if your mouse doesn't work, then go to VM and select the option, something like this. Go to VM and select send Control+Alt+Delete. When you're on lock screen or when you're on some struck screen, automatically it is going to display you about that particular window. Now you can see this is your Windows Server. Now we'll quickly see the edition or the version of this Windows Server, edition as well as version of this Windows Server. Then we can see what all the services available. As of now, neglect or ignore these points. Again, I'll be teaching you about these points, network-based points, but as of now, ignore it. And now let us see the version as well as edition of this Windows Server. Okay, so there is something new on every Windows Server that is called as Server Manager. There is an inbuilt tool or there is an inbuilt service called as Server Manager on every Windows Server machines, which is going to help us to operate all the managerial things or operate all the actions based on your administration part. So which are related to your administration part. Okay, this is your server manager. I'm just minimizing the server manager and I'm going to my directory. So this is an Explorer, File Explorer. So after opening the File Explorer, I'll go to this PC. This PC. Okay, in this PC, there is a small breadcrumb nail here. So select this particular ribbon and click on System Properties. Okay, System Properties will be visible only when you select this PC option. So click on System Properties. Now you can see here. So what is the operating system version you are using as well as what is the edition you are using. So you're using Windows Server 2016 version as well as standard edition. Okay, and this is your processor, Intel Core i5, that is my PC processor, and installed RAM is 2 GB RAM. 2 GB RAM is specially dedicated for this particular VM, particular virtual machine. Okay, all right. Now after seeing this, we'll explore the server manager part. So we'll click on server manager. And this server manager is a place where we are going to operate all the things about the server. You can see first option, you can see manage. So in manage, you have add roles, features, remove roles, add servers, create server group, server manager properties. There are plenty of things here. Again, you can see tools. These are all the installed services. If you're installing more and more services, the tools will be more and more. Okay. All right. And if you want to see server manager settings, you can go for properties here. So only two options. Specify the server manager data refresh period in minutes, as well as do not start server manager automatically at logon. Only two settings we have, but unfortunately we are not going to disturb them. Now click on local server. This is our local server. It is the information of your local server. This is the computer name. This is work group. This is the firewall information, defender information. And remote desktop information, there are plenty of things. All the information is mentioned here. At the same time, to the bottom, you can see events are tagged. All the events are tagged. Okay, now let us see about all servers. So when you are connecting with multiple servers, you can see all those servers from one place. As of now, we got only one server. This is our own server. Okay, next comes file and storage services. So in which we'll see servers, and these are the volumes inside the servers, and these are the disks inside the servers. So we got only one disk, so it is showing only 6 GB. If you got multiple volumes, that is C drive, D drive, E drive in the way, then it is going to show you as the volumes. Next, storage pools, it is also very quite similar to the volumes. Okay, so now after seeing this, we'll go and see different services. So all these services are available in manage. Click on manage and select add roles and features. Add roles and features. Now this server has an ability to act as one single service. It can act as one single service. So if you want this server to perform only upload and download actions, then it is going to access as a file server. It is going to act as a file server. Okay, so I give a small example in the same way. Let us see what all the available services are there in Windows. Click next, and this you can see role based or feature based. So always select role based or feature based. Do not select remote desktop service installation. Role based, select, and next we have only one server, so there is no other option. You can select only one server. Click next, and on this page, if you want to select something, yes, you have to select some. Always remember on this page, if you're a first time performer, always remember you have to take a service called as what server is going to take. Okay, let me take network policy and access server. Click OK, click next. Again, now there are plenty of features on your machine. So forget about all these features. This can be installed later as well. Click next, click next, click next. And finally, restart the destination server automatically if required. Select this option. And click install. It was a pop-up message which says that how to open, or else restart will be done only if required. So install. Now I'm installing a role. This is just a random thing which I'm showing you here. Okay, so once the installation will be completed, this installation will be shown here as well as on the tools. Okay, so it gets installed. Meanwhile, what I'll do is I'd like to again go back to my local machine. So this is my local machine, or else let me call it as this is my base machine. So this is my base machine. From base machine, if I want to communicate with my VMware or virtual machine inside my VMware, is that possible? Is it possible to communicate between this machine as well as this machine? So is it possible? Yes, it is possible. How we're going to do it? So we're going to do it by enabling network connections as well as installing VM tools. Installing VM tools. So let's see whether this is ready or not. Yes, it is getting installed. I have selected something randomly, and let's see where it fits and how it fits. And now you can see the installation is succeeded, and let us see the output here. So I'd like to go back to my file storage services, volumes, back, and to the server manager. Okay, now let's go to dashboard and see what all things added new. Now you can see before it was only file and storage service. Now this is network policy and access services. I can hide this, and you can see this is my NPAs. network policy and access services. So this is randomly, this is installed randomly. And whenever we require, we're going to install only those things which are required to us. Only those things which are required to us. Okay, all right. So any questions still here? If you have any questions, or if you're seeing the server for the first time, you have any questions, you can raise your hand if you have any questions, or you can drop a message in the chat box if you have any questions. So we have seen the Windows Server now. In this session, we have seen the Windows Server. And there are plenty of roles on Windows Server. Among them, we have randomly selected one server and we have installed it. Okay, all right. So let me show you the server manager. This is the only tool through which we are going to handle the entire Windows Server. Add roles and features. Again, next, again, next, again, next. If I select something called as Web Server IIS. Next, 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 and finally install. I'm not telling anything for you. I'm just showing about how to install it. I'm going to show you the output as well, output of this particular server on my local machine. Okay, I have used the bridge network option here. So go to VM, and on this page, you can go to settings. Even while the server is on, you can make some basic settings. The settings are something like the network adapter is bridged. If it is in that, or if it is in another option, you can change it to any of the available option. That is your choice. Okay, once if this feature gets, or if this role gets installed, then I'm going to show you the output about how server is useful for us in our administration world. This is a basic practical, very, very, very basic practical. Of course, there is an extended version of this practical. It's taking more time. Okay, you can see now the installation is successful. Close the installation part. Now IIS is also installed. Go to tools and you can see IIS, Internet Information Service Manager. Okay, so this is your IIS server. How to work with this IIS server, we'll understand in the upcoming IIS concepts. As of now, we are not understanding anything here. Okay, so let me show you output, simple output, something like. So I'll create a file. I'll create a basic HTML file that will be inside the browser. C drive, inside these folders. Okay, now right click on this page and create a new document. So I'm creating a new document and writing something like this, HTML. So I'm writing something like this. Welcome to Windows Server. Now let me save it as save as. You have to remember this name. You have to remember the same name should be index.html because the web pages will load from this particular name. All the web pages will load only with this name. Okay. So now I'll go to my server and I'll ask my server about the IP address of this server. I'll go to search and type cmd command prompt. So click on this cmd and type here ipconfig and it display your IP address. So your machine has got an IP address called as 192.168.29.109. So I'm going to use the same IP address here on my browser. On my browser. So let me select something like the IP address over there, that is 192.168.29. What is the address? 109. Enter and you have to see that particular output here. See, I have created this particular welcome to Windows Server message somewhere in my VMware, somewhere in this virtual machine. But now I can access this particular thing using this particular web. If I'm doing the same thing using any public setup, public IP setup, that is internet connectivity setup, then obviously what all the IP address we create here or we provide here will be posted onto this particular web server page. Okay, will be acted as a URL. Of course, there is another concept called as domain name. We have to buy all those things. That is secondary point, but yes, we have to understand. If you're typing something on your machine, something like this, it means this particular page has to reach out to that server and get permission and bring the information back to you. Okay. All right. So this is a small output. And if you have any questions, you can post your questions. I can see some questions like what is going to be your day-to-day work as an Windows administrator? Good question. So Windows administrator roles and responsibilities. So let's say something like what all the roles and responsibilities of Windows Server administrator. I did not save that file anywhere. It is saved. So roles and responsibilities or day-to-day roles and responsibilities of server system administrator is to manage user accounts, permissions, configuring and managing servers, ensuring system security, monitoring system performance or troubleshooting the issues, and sometimes performing backups and disaster recovery. Okay. So at the same time, installing software as well as installing updates and keep your machine up to date for the okay, so where the file is created, just second, but I'll show. So in day-to-day things, we are going to see installing and configuring of software and staying up to date with patches as well as updates. So there might be plenty of things among all what I said just now. But still, I'm going to show you all the roles and responsibilities of Windows Server Administrator. Okay, this file is stored on your server, this particular. This file is stored on a folder called as inetpub and inside that I folder called as www root. So the file is stored here. And from here, you're able to see the output. Okay, clear, Dinesh? Okay, so any other questions? Any more questions, anyone? If you have any questions, then let me know, or else we'll start the very first service or first role in the next session. The next section will be on Monday, and that would be our last demo session. And the recordings will be shared to only those who are registered for the course. Okay, thank you all. Next session will be on Monday. Next session will be on Monday, that is 26th of February at 4:30 p.m. IST. There will not be any sessions on Saturday and Sunday. Thank you, everyone. Yes, Dinesh.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So the recorded videos will be shared, right? For the paid.
Yes, recorded videos
Okay.
will be shared for only for those who have registered for the course.
Okay. And so that will be valid for like
That will be lifetime valid.
lifetime valid.
Lifetime valid.
Okay. And so you are providing this like study materials also, like what you prepare from.
Yes, every day I'll be writing notes, something like this. You can see the notes will be mentioned in the class itself, and soon after the class is done, the same notes will be attached to you in the same what we say where your recordings are there. You have an LMS called as Graphy here. So inside that Graphy, you're going to get all the notes along with the video recording. You'll get the same notes what I'm explaining you in the class.
Okay, great. But sorry, I didn't get you. Where it will be attached? Where will I get it? Like.
You'll get all the details from my team person. Okay,
Okay.
he'll drop a WhatsApp message to you. Don't worry.
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
And so. Well, so on next class, after completing the next class, we can pay the this one fees,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
We can
you
pay
have
the
one
fees.
more day to listen to the demo, and if you're okay, then you can go ahead for the payment. Even now, you can do it. You can directly do it from our website,
Okay.
as I've shown you in the starting.
Mhm,
Go to our website and go to upcoming batches, and here you can see about
mhm.
buy now option.
Okay.
Okay, you
From
can
here.
select this option and you can buy it right away as well.
Okay. That's
Okay.
it. And so yesterday I was asking like the certificate, can Logitech will provide the certificate for this course?
Okay. So my person will be explaining you about same thing on WhatsApp. Don't worry,
Okay.
he will answer all your administration based questions.
Fine. Thank you.
So that's all for the day, team. Thank you so much. We'll again meet on Monday at 4:30 p.m. IST.
Thank you.